Hey guys, it's Jerry Hill from CrossFit Challenge here in Old Town Alexandria with your CrossFit tip. Today I want to talk barbell thruster, particularly efficiency of movement. With our barbell thruster, we just hit Fran in class, and I was really happy with our overhead position of support. We've got a lot of overhead strength, and our core strength has improved. But next is efficiency of movement. All right, creating that good vertical force in our thruster. All right, to make it more efficient. And our barbell thruster, in essence, is that core and overhead strength, right? It's using the powerful leg muscles, transferring force from the hips through the core to the extremities. So that's been great. I would have to attribute our success to our steady diet, of course, of all the classic barbell lifts that we put overhead. But also within some specialty work we've been doing on the Turkish get-up and overhead dumbbell lunge. So Turkish get-up, overhead dumbbell lunge have been great, again, because you're in that good overhead position of support, elbows in the ears, with your Turkish get-up, good core strength, and good overhead strength. Two exercises I'll cover down the road. But today, more than anything, I want to talk about that good efficiency of movement. And that comes down to our squat. All right, so things we need to work on within our squat, and that can be corrected even in our air squat and with our front squat. So what we want to do in our air squat, the things that I see where people are going wrong, is a lot of forward lean, right? And we also need to open those hips up. Okay, so I've got some barriers here, a barrier for squat depth. But ideally, perhaps the barrier, while that teaches us to sit back, that's not necessarily what we want to do in a good thruster, right? We want to open those hips up and sit down, all right? Now, sitting down, yes, it's going to have some knee extension, but it's also going to have less torso lean, all right? So a good squat, say an air squat, where I'm fighting, trying to keep my torso straight, I'm reaching overhead, right? And I'm constantly shifting and trying to keep that torso as straight as I can. Not perfect, but hey, we're all a work in progress here, right? Right? Straight up, straight down. Air squat. Versus sitting back and getting forward lean, right? Sitting back here. See that forward lean, all right? So now in our squat, our hips rise first, and then they come forward, all right? Now you got a barbell with a moderately heavy load in your hand. Think about how inefficient that is. If you're sitting back and leaning, right, and now your hips rise first, and then you have to thrust forward, all right, versus keeping your torso straight, opening your hips up, right, flaring the knees, trying to keep that torso straight, and then driving straight up, all right? Big difference. So the barrier is there to judge our depth. Right? Not something that we necessarily want to get in squat back up. Right? So two things to be aware of: sitting back too far, and the other thing is trying to keep that torso straight. How does it look from the front? All right, it's this flaring of the knees. Flaring of the knees. I'm just moving these barriers around a little bit so you can see. So I'm here in my good squat stance, right? And I'm opening my hips. I'm opening and flaring. See that? So I'm opening and flaring here, trying to keep my torso straight, right? Boom. Right? See that difference? Again, I'm going to show you the difference here from the side with no barrier, right? Difference between, I'm just going to stay down there in the bottom. See the difference? Boom. So those hips are underneath me. And that happens with that good flaring of the knees. And now torso straight, right? Fighting to keep that there. So now, in my good thruster, I can boom, drive that weight up, straight up overhead. Right? Because that's what it's all about with a thruster, is transferring that force. All right? I'll just demo a thruster too. Well, I got this set up for the front. Ideally with your thruster, good place to start is about thumb length from the smooth. Right? Thumb length from the smooth. From there you clean it up, right? You want to get it right up in your throat, right up in that throat, and from here, fighting to keep that torso nice and straight, driving it straight through. Right? So you've created space here, space here, space here, and you drive through that thruster. Right? You want to make sure you lock that out into good active shoulder. From the side, you're here. Gives us some things to work on. All right? Constantly fight that torso lean, open up those hips, achieve a good barbell thruster. Again, this is Jerry Hill, CrossFit Challenge, here in Old Town Alexandria. Good luck and enjoy.